said I wanted round one, and here we are, baby. Joe Fournier, I want a piece of that.
Who wants to see him fight a real boxer? You heard them?
Hey yo, I need to be tested.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Fight Fanatics. This fight is exciting, and many of us are very keen to know how exactly this fight will go. Before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button and also check out the breakdown and prediction we've done on the Deji vs Swarms fight, which will be featured as the co-main event in the KSI vs Joe Fournier card. To make it very clear, I don't see this 6-round bout going past 4 rounds. Before I announce who will win and how, let's break down their skills and experience. Joe Fournier has been boxing since 2015 and has an undefeated record of 9 wins, in which all these 9 fights are victories with knockouts, which is super impressive with no defeats. However, if you look at the record against the opponents he has fought, they're not too impressive, as every single one of his opponents had more losses than wins on their records, and 2 of them were debut fighters. In essence, Joe Fournier doesn't really have a credible win under his name, except the exhibition fight he had with David Haye, who is a former cruiserweight and heavyweight world champion. Although this was a super boring fight, he managed to last the whole 8 rounds against David Haye, which was impressive. From this information, it's evident that Joe Fournier is the most experienced boxer KSI has yet faced. And just to also note, he had lost against David Haye when it came to the judges' scorecards. Now, looking at KSI and who he has gone against, he started boxing officially in 2017, which is 2 years later compared to when Joe Fournier started boxing. And his first fight was a white collar fight against Joe Weller in February 2018, which he won in devastating fashion in the 3rd round and had everybody shocked. After the victory against Joe Weller, he went on to calling the Paul brothers, as at the time they had a lot of back and forth ongoing. Check out our top facts about YouTube boxing video to know more about this topic, where we discuss this very clearly. However, KSI went on to fighting Logan Paul twice. Their first fight in 2018 was a draw after 6 intense rounds, which led to a rematch in November 2019. The rematch against Logan Paul ended up going to the judges' scorecards once again, and KSI had once again shocked the world and won by a split decision in the judges' scorecards. Although this fight was very controversial, many fans thought it was unfair that 2 points were deducted from Logan Paul due to the foul back of the head shot that he did. Personally, from my perspective, I didn't respect that myself, as that could lead to brain damage. However, KSI then decided to take a 3-year break, partly due to the coronavirus and his music career, and now he is finally back into the boxing scene, so he can finally fight Jake Paul as his end goal. So after taking a break, he decided to get back into boxing, and he went against 2 people, Swarms and Luis Pineda, on the same night. And against Swarms and Luis Pineda, both of them took 2 rounds in order for him to finish off in devastating fashion, and this was very impressive. And after those 2 fights, he was meant to fight Dylan Dennis, but then Dylan Dennis had pulled out of the fight. So because Dylan Dennis had pulled out of the fight, the opponent that KSI had to face was FaZe Temper, who is a tall southpaw fighter and was considered as a bigger threat than Dylan Dennis would have possessed. So at the time of January the 14th, 2023, FaZe Temper and KSI took place, and in the first round KSI started jabbing towards the head and the body, and whilst trying to get into the inside, he did get caught with a few punches by FaZe Temper. Then, a minute into the first round, KSI landed a ruthless right hand and left hook combination and knocked out FaZe Temper. And from there, in the post-fight interview, KSI and Joe Fournier had their first face-to-face, which has now led to this fight happening. So now, moving to the conclusion and what my prediction is, I see this fight being very competitive from the start. Joe Fournier will definitely have the experience to keep his distance and know when to throw and defend. I do see KSI starting off at a very fast pace too. It will be an intense toe-to-toe fight, and I do see a few knockdowns taking place in this fight too. However, as Joe Fournier doesn't look like he's taking this fight too seriously, we've all seen how KSI's work ethic and dedication is. I do see KSI having the right fitness and cardio going into this fight, and this will favour him in the later rounds. So for my overall prediction, I am picking KSI to beat Joe Fournier by TKO by the 4th round. I see this happening as I see Joe Fournier gassing out, slows down in the later rounds, and as KSI will have the right fitness, I see him throwing a right overhand punch which will drop Joe Fournier down, and the referee will wave this fight off, giving KSI the victory. Thanks for listening guys. Do let us know what your views are and who you think will win this fight. Make sure you are subscribed, and see you soon guys. Peace.